It's made, if you were to take away Steam's percentage, we're probably sitting at somewhere around like $13,000. Cost about $135,000 to make. The IRS and the Department of Business will basically just email you saying like, $300, please. You're not making any money. Like, you're making $0. You're pulling in money and you're sending money out, but you're not actually bringing in any revenue.
So it's all of the work behind the work. I interviewed Eldar Basic, the creative director and producer of Atomic Owl. He gave me some insights that were eye-opening. And watching the full chat back, it's interesting, but it's long. There is a full uncut version in the description if you'd like to watch the whole thing, but editing exists to give you the best bits. So here's the thread of Eldar's story, and hopefully it can shine some light on some areas that you may be thinking about yourself, whether having played games or making games. I thought long and hard about how to tell this, so I've stitched myself in to kind of let Eldar breathe and let him speak about game dev instead of me interviewing him as such. So I hope you enjoy. So, Atomic Owl. One line, no fluff, then we'll get into the guts.
Wake up, bird brain. Remember me?
Is that sword talking and glowing and has a creepy eye?
What matters is that you got pinned to a tree and a mad sorcerer bird king sent your home and your friends off the deep end.
You make a strong point, creepy sword.
Yeah, and I was afraid being used by a goody-goody would be boring.
I wanted to put out a product that you could play in about 5 to 6, maybe 7 hours, depending on your level of skill, because it is a challenging side-scroller type of game.
So here's what got me thinking. Before you have players, you have invoices. It costs money to make something like this. It's the work behind the work. So what hits your wallet first?
Owning a business in the United States costs money, more than you would think. The IRS and the Department of Business will basically just email you saying like, $300, please. If you have an LLC, you have to file a mutual beneficiary report every single quarter. And sometimes that price is not always the same. Sometimes for me, it was $180. Sometimes it was a random $360. Without a game on the market, especially if you're a first time studio, you're not making any money. Like, you're making $0. You're pulling in money and you're sending money out, but you're not actually bringing in any revenue.
Okay, so the bills land early. But what does the day-to-day actually look like when you are indie? Which hats are you really wearing?
I had to remember to also find time to be creative. Like, I had to, while I was looking for cash flow for the studio, I also have to take time to do non-sexy financial things like make a story, make characters, make it mean something, right? Design a game, design power-ups, design platforms. So you really are it's really like game development. If you're doing it by yourself, or if you're running a studio and you're managing people, you really are using the left and the right side of your brain.
So it's everything. So how do you even fund something like this?
So I went to Kickstarter. We put together a remarkable Kickstarter campaign with the help of a lot of really talented people. And we were able to raise $56,000, and it was wonderful. And that certainly helped. We were able to get some grants from OTK. We were able to, just get funding from a lot of small different places. What is the likelihood of my game or project becoming a Kickstarter success? And for that, I always say you need to launch with a certain amount of followers, which shouldn't be less than 500, and you need to have money prepped to put into ads. Basically, if you don't already have a community. I think a lot of people think, oh, I can't build a community from Kickstarter. I think absolutely you can. We were able to do that. We built a community from scratch with our Kickstarter backers. But to find those Kickstarter backers in the first place, it's not just pressing go on Kickstarter.com. It is for months cultivating that list of followers so that when you do press go, people are there and waiting.
It's systems. Kickstarter isn't a magic button. It's a lot of work before the main work. But let's fast forward a bit. We get past that, we get past the Kickstarter, and we're coming up to launch. How do you price the game? How do you decide what it's worth?
I definitely cut myself at the heel a little bit when it comes to the ability for the game to make money. It's really hard to put a game like that into early access when it's single player, right? And so it was something that genuinely could not make money until it was done. And I knew, oh my God, this is going to take like 2.5 years. You shoot your shot, right? I was like, okay, I think this is a $20 game, right? But obviously there's emotion and there's bias in that. What I thought was a $20 game, I think the market thinks is more of a $12 to $14 game, right? So I don't think the sales potential of the game is there until we reduce costs to about that $12 to $14 range. We had a pretty average conversion of our wish lists of about 4%. Anything above 5% is considered really top notch, and anything above 10 is considered like really great Vampire Survivors, blah, blah, blah. It has made, so it's sold roughly like 1,000 copies. I would say it's made, if you were to take away Steam's percentage, we're probably sitting at somewhere around like $13,000. Without any sort of fluffing of the numbers, I would say cost about $135,000 to make. Originally, I thought it was going to cost $40,000. We only had one weapon. We only had one sword. It was going to be very shinobi-like in style. We have 4 weapons now, but we also didn't even have like a main like place to go back to whenever you die in the game, right? So over time, that 40,000 did sort of just like become, a lot larger in scope as well.
It is not for the faint-hearted. Scope creep, unexpected costs, price too high at launch. What do you do? Do you keep going?
While we aren't necessarily expanding it with more content, we are quickly patching, and we are going to be looking at marketing the game for roughly about a year and a half after this, because we still have so many platforms and so many people to reach, right? I mean, with Steam, we've reached 1,000 people. We want to reach 100,000 people across all platforms. So that is a year and a half marketing support, right? And I think that whenever we see the game on 6 to 7 different marketplaces, including console, of course, I think it will find its audience, especially now that, not for nothing, that $19.99 launch price is was sort of a test bed, right? Is this game $20? Steam says no. Steam says maybe this is more of a $12.99. Maybe this is more of a $15 game, right? We can take that to Xbox, we can take that to PlayStation, and we can launch a $12.99 on PlayStation. Maybe make another. We'll see how it goes, right? I've never launched a game on consoles. That is a whole learning experience for me.
You can't force things to work. There is a natural cadence that happens with projects in their lifetime, so consoles is the next thing. There's been one shot at Steam so far, but there's plenty to go. And for me, the success is getting something like this out there. It is no small feat, from what you heard, to get this from ideation into the hands of people like you and me. So with that, I had Eldar finish up our chat with some quick fire answers.
For me personally, and my skill set, I think it's impossible to ship without 2 things. One, Confluence and Jira Pro, which is a boring answer, but I'd love to put you guys onto a little program called Buffer, which it gives you a lot of flexibility with scheduling social media posts. And as the primary marketer for Monster Theater, pretty much the only marketer for Monster Theater, having something where I can spend $15 a month and have one little page with my Threads account, with my X, with my Blue Sky, with my TikTok, and just schedule things for like a month in advance. They could charge me $200 a month. I'd pay that. The best money investment besides Jira, besides Buffer, whatever, is buying indie games, learning what people like from them, and not stealing ideas, but being like, hey, people like this. People enjoy what this game is doing. What's the spirit behind this? What is the essence behind what people enjoy about this? Is it the fidelity of the movement? Is it how crunchy the attack is? Let me see if I can bring that into my game. I spent way too much time replying to people in my emails that were Steam curators. You might have heard about this. People will not impersonate, but they will say, hey, I will review your game on this website. I'll review your game as a Steam curator. And really, they're just looking for free codes. And I honestly just spent a little bit too much time leading up to release giving out free codes to people. A little bit of a learning lesson that I made was I sent the game out with some bugs, thinking that reviewers would play my game with kitty gloves. They don't play your game with kitty gloves. Send the game out when it's done. An indie game is a video game that has a small scope, small team, and a small budget. Whatever that looks like, go for it. Ownership does not matter to me. If it's owned and the team is still small, the budget is still small, the scope is still small, it's not AAA, it's indie. That's my feeling on it. That's what I think.
Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a full uncut version for you to watch. That's in the description. I'll let Eldar tell you where you can find him.
Play Atomic Owl. We're going to be participating in some pretty cool events, and follow Monster Theater on our various social media platforms. And I want to thank you personally for creating Indieformer. 7-8 months ago, I got wind of it, and yeah, I think you're doing something really cool, and it's how I found out about like really good indie games now. So thank you.
Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Indieformer.